to reason, the model was a little bit larger. Of course, you could have much larger models. The model O1 was a little bit larger, not much larger, but its input token usage for context and its output token for thinking increased the amount of computation tremendously. Then came Claude Code, the first agentic model. It was able to read files, code, compile it, test it, evaluate it, go back and iterate on it. Claude Code has revolutionized software engineering, as all of you know. 100% of NVIDIA is using a combination of, or oftentimes all three of them, Claude Code, Codex, and Cursor, all over NVIDIA. There's not one software engineer today who is not assisted by one or many AI agents helping them code. Claude Code completely revolutionized. It's the new inflection. And for the first time, you don't ask an AI what, where, when, how. You ask it create, do, build. You ask it to use tools, take your context, read files. It's able to agentically break down a problem, reason about it, reflect on it. It's able to solve problems and actually perform tasks. An AI that was able to perceive became an AI that could generate. An AI that could generate became an AI that could reason. An AI that could reason now became an AI that can actually do work, very productive work. The amount of computation in the last 2 years, we know that everybody in this room knows the computing demand for NVIDIA GPU is off the charts. Spot pricing is skyrocketing. You couldn't find a GPU if you tried, and yet, in the meantime, we're shipping GPUs out. Incredible amounts of it, and demand just keeps on going up. There's a reason for that. This fundamental inflection. Finally, AI is able to do productive work, and therefore, the inflection point of inference has arrived. AI now has to think. In order to think, it has to inference. AI now has to do. In order to do, it has to inference. AI has to read. In order to do so, it has to inference. It has to reason. It has to inference. Every part of AI, every time it has to think, it has to reason, it has to do, it has to generate tokens, it has to inference. It's way past training now. It's in the field of inference. So the inference inflection has arrived. At the time when the amount of tokens, the amount of compute necessary increased by roughly 10,000 times. Now, when I combine these two, the fact that since in the last 2 years, the computing demand of the work has gone up by 10,000 times, and the amount of usage has probably gone up by 100 times. People have heard me say, I believe that computing demand has increased by 1 million times in the last 2 years. It is the feeling that we all have. It is the feeling every startup has. It's the feeling that OpenAI has. It's the feeling that Anthropic has. If they could just get more capacity, they could generate more tokens. Their revenues would go up. More people could use it. The more advanced, the smarter the AI could become. We are now at that positive flywheel system. We have reached that moment. The inflection, the inference inflection has arrived. Last year, at this time, I said that where I stood at that moment in time, we saw about $500 billion. We saw $500 billion of very high confidence demand and purchase orders for Blackwell and Rubin through 2026. I said that last year. Now, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but $500 billion is an enormous amount of revenue. Not one impressed. I know why you're not impressed, because all of you had record years. Well, I'm here to tell you that right now where I stand, a few short months after GTC DC, 1 year after last GTC, right here where I stand, I see through 2027 at least $1 trillion. Now, does it make any sense? And that's what I'm going to spend the rest of the time talking about. In fact, we are going to be short. I am certain computing demand will be much higher than that. And there's a reason for that. So the first thing is, we did a lot of work in the last year. Of course, as you know, 2025 was NVIDIA's year of inference. We wanted to make sure that not only were we good at training and post-training, that we were incredibly good at every single phase of AI, so that the investments that were made, investments made in our infrastructure, could scale out for as long as they would like to use it. And the useful life of NVIDIA's infrastructure would be long, and therefore the cost would be incredibly low. The longer you could use it, the lower the cost. There's no question in my mind. NVIDIA systems are the lowest cost infrastructure you could get for AI infrastructure in the world. And so the first part was, last year was all about AI for inference, and it drove this inflection point. Simultaneously, we were very pleased last year that Anthropic has come to NVIDIA, that MSL, Meta SL, has chosen NVIDIA. And meanwhile, and as a collection, as a group, this represents 1/3 of the world's AI compute, open source models. Open source models have reached near the frontier, and it is literally everywhere. And NVIDIA, as you know, today, we're the only platform in the world today that runs every single domain of AI across every single one of these AI models, in language and biology, in computer graphics, computer vision, in speech, proteins and chemicals, robotics and otherwise, edge or cloud, any language. NVIDIA's architecture is fungible for all of that, and we're incredible for all of that. That allows us to be the lowest cost, the highest confidence platform. Because when you're building these systems, as I mentioned, $1 trillion is an enormous amount of infrastructure. You have to have complete confidence that the $1 trillion you're putting down will be utilized, would be performant, would be incredibly cost-effective, and have useful life for as long as you could see. That infrastructure investment you could make on NVIDIA, you could make with complete confidence. We have now proven that. It is the only infrastructure in the world that you could go anywhere in the world and build with complete confidence. You want to put it in any of the clouds, we're delighted by that. You want to put it on-prem, we're happy about that. You want to put it in any country, anywhere, we're delighted to support you. We are now a computing platform that runs all of AI. Now, our business already starting to show that. 60% of our business is hyperscalers, the top 5 hyperscalers. However, even within that top 5 hyperscalers, some of it is internal AI consumption. The internal AI consumption, really important work, like Rexis is moving from recommender systems of tables and collaborative filtering and content filtering, it's moving towards deep learning and large language models. Search, moving to deep learning, large language models. Almost all of these different hyperscale workloads are now moving, shifting towards a workload that NVIDIA GPUs are incredibly good at. But on top of that, because we work with every AI lab, because we work with every AI, we accelerate every AI model, and because we have a large ecosystem of AI natives that we work with that we can bring to the clouds, that investment, no matter how large, no matter how quick, that compute will be consumed. And that represents 60% of our business. The other 40% is just everywhere. Regional clouds, sovereign clouds, enterprise, industrial, robotics, edge, big systems, supercomputing systems, small servers, enterprise servers. The number of systems, incredible. The diversity of AI is also its resilience. The span of reach of AI is its resilience. There is no question this is not a one-app technology. This is now fundamental. This is absolutely a new computing platform shift. Well, our job is to continue to advance the technology, and one of the most important things that I mentioned last year was our year of inference. We dedicated everything. We took a giant chance and reinvented while Hopper was at its prime and it was just cooking. We decided that the Hopper architecture, the MVLink by 8, had to be taken to the next level. We completely re-architected the system, disaggregated the computing system altogether, and created NVLink 72. The way that it's built, the way it's manufactured, the way it's programmed completely changed. Grace Blackwell NVLink 72 was a giant bet, and it wasn't easy for anybody. And many of my partners here in the room, I want to thank all of you for the hard work that you guys did. Thank you. NVLink 72, NVFP4, not just FP4 precision. FP4 is a whole different type of tensor core and computational unit. We've demonstrated now that we can inference NVFP4 without loss of precision, but gigantic boost in performance and energy efficiency. We've also been able to use NVFP4 for training. So NVLink 72, NVFP4, the invention of Dynamo, TensorRT LLM, a whole bunch of new algorithms. We even built a supercomputer to help us optimize kernels and help us optimize our complete stack. We call it DGX Cloud. We invested billions of dollars of supercomputing capability, help us create the kernels, the software that made inference possible. Well, the results all came together, and people used to tell me, but Jensen, inference is so easy. Inference is the ultimate hard. Inference is ultimate hard. It is also ultimate important because it drives your revenues. And so this is the outcome. This is from semi-analysis. This is the largest, most comprehensive sweep of AI inference that has ever been done. And what you see here on the left, on this side, is tokens per watt. Tokens per watt is important because every data center, every single factory, by definition, is power constrained. A 1 gigawatt factory will never become 2. It's physically constrained. The laws of atoms, the laws of physicality. And so that 1 gigawatt of data center, you want to drive the maximum number of tokens, which is the production, the product of that factory. So you want to be on top of that curve as high as you want. The x-axis is the interactivity, the speed of inference, the speed of each inference. The faster you can inference, the faster you could, of course, respond. But very importantly, the faster you can inference, the larger the models, the more context you could process, the more tokens you can think through. This axis is the same as smartness of the AI. And so this is the throughput of the AI. This is the smartness of the AI. Notice, the smarter the AI, the lower your throughput. Makes sense. You're thinking longer. Okay? And so this axis is the speed, and I'm going to come back to this. This is important. This is where I torture all of you. But it's too important. Every CEO in the world, you watch, every CEO in the world will study their business from now on in the way I'm about to describe. Because this is your token factory. This is your AI factory. This is your revenues. There's no question about that going forward. And so this is the throughput. This is the intelligence. Better perf per watt for a given power of data center, the more throughput, the more tokens you can produce. On this side is cost. Notice, NVIDIA is the highest performance in the world. Nobody would be surprised by that. They would be surprised by the fact that in one generation, whereas Moore's law would have given us, through transistors, 50%, 2 times Moore's Law would probably give us 1.5 times more performance. You would have expected from Hopper H200 1.5 times higher. Nobody would have expected 35 times higher. I said last year at this time that NVIDIA's Grace Blackwell NVLink 72 was 35 times perf per watt. Nobody believed me. And then semi-analysis came out, and Dylan Patel had a quote. He accused me of sandbagging. He accused me of sandbagging. He says, Jensen sandbagged. It's actually 50 times. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. And so our cost per token, our cost per token is the lowest in the world. You can't beat it. I've said before, if you have the wrong architecture, even if it's free, it's not cheap enough. And the reason for that is because no matter what happens, you still have to build a gigawatt data center. You still have to build a gigawatt factory. And that gigawatt factory, for 15 years amortized across, that gigawatt factory is about $40 billion. Even when you put nothing on it, it's $40 billion in. You better make for darn sure you put the best computer system on that thing so that you could have the best token cost. NVIDIA's token cost is world-class, basically untouchable at the moment. And the reason that's true is because of extreme co-design. And so I'm very happy that he named us there was a monkey king, token king. Well, we take all of our software, as I told you, we vertically integrate, but we horizontally open. We're vertical integration, horizontal open. We integrate all of our software and all of our technology, however we could package it up and integrate it into the world's inference service providers. And these companies are growing so fast. They're growing so fast. Fireworks, Lynn is here, Together, they're just growing so incredibly fast. 100 times in the last year. They are token factories. And the effectiveness, the performance, and the token cost production capability for their factories is everything to them. And this is what happened. We updated their software, same system, and notice their token speeds, incredible. The difference before NVIDIA updated everything and all of our algorithms and software and all the technology that we bring to bear, about 700 tokens per second average went to nearly 5,000, 7 times higher. And so this is the incredible power of extreme co-design. I mentioned earlier the importance of factories. This is the importance of factory. Your data center, it used to be a data center for files. It's now a factory to generate tokens. Your factory is limited no matter what. Everybody's looking for land, power, and shell. Once you build it, you are power limited. Within that power limited infrastructure, you better make for darn sure that your inference, because you know inference is your workload and tokens is your new commodity, that compute is your revenues, that you want to make sure that the architecture is as optimized as you can. In the future, every single CSP, every single computer company, every single cloud company, every single AI company, every single company, period, are going to be thinking about their token factory effectiveness. This is your factory in the future. And the reason why I know that is because everybody in this room is powered by intelligence. And in the future, that intelligence will be augmented by tokens. So let me show you how we got here.
On April 6th, 2016, a decade ago, we introduced DGX-1, the world's first computer designed for deep learning. 8 Pascal GPUs connected with the first generation 2020, DGX A100 SuperPod became the first GPU supercomputer combining scale-up and scale-out architecture. NVLink 3 for scale-up, Connect X6, and Quantum InfiniBand for scale-out. Then Hopper, the first GPU with the FP8 transformer engine that launched the generative AI era. MVLink 4, Connect X7, Bluefield 3 DPUs, second generation Quantum InfiniBand. It revolutionized computing. Blackwell redefined AI supercomputing system architecture with NVLink 72. 72 GPUs connected by NVLink spine. 130 terabytes per second of all-to-all bandwidth. Compute trays integrate Blackwell GPUs, Grace CPUs, Connect X8, and Bluefield 3. Scale-out runs over Spectrum 4 Ethernet. With 3 scaling laws in full steam, pre-training, post-training, and inference, and now agentic systems, compute demand continues to grow exponentially. And now, Vera Rubin. Architected for every phase of agentic AI, advancing every pillar of computing, including CPU, storage, networking, and security. Vera Rubin NVLink 72, 3.6 exaflops of compute, 260 terabytes per second of all-to-all NVLink bandwidth. The engine supercharging the era of agentic AI, the Vera CPU rack, designed for orchestration and agentic workflows. The STX rack, AI native storage built with Bluefield 4. Scale out with Spectrum X co-packaged optics, increasing energy efficiency and resiliency. And an incredible new addition, the Grok 3 LP